Hey guys, welcome to Team Building Exercise with these jamokes. Coach from Family Gamer 777 and Jake and Rob from the Deadzone Podcast make some lists and talk about them. I guess you want to listen to them, but what do I know? And I'm Georgie the Goblin, and I'll be keeping these guys honest. Especially Jack.
Welcome to a special edition of Team Building Exercise. I'm Rob.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Coach.
And this one is a special we're doing because it's not any of the true lists. It's a fan-made list, and that is the list from Mars Attacks for the Martians.
Well, we are doing the list because the guy who made it is awesome.
Yes, it is a fan-made list by Shane, the runner of the Deadzone tournament at Adepticon, but also a good friend. And yes, we were planning on doing this before we met him, but now that we met him, of course we're going to do this. And then we're going to rip his list apart, and then he'll hate us.
Yeah, we feel obligated to do it. Hey, Rob, how'd that Deadzone tournament go? How'd it go? I heard it was...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't know, because this is not the show to talk about any Deadzone tournaments.
I'm just wondering, did everything go well at Adepticon? I was just wondering how that Deadzone tournament went. I just,
Well, we didn't hit happy hour as much as we should have, but...
Yeah, that is true. But we did hit it the night after the Deadzone tournament for some reason.
Oh, yeah. To celebrate. Come on.
I guess to give us cred, I will say that Coach did win the Deadzone tournament, so now you have to listen to what he says.
Yes. Not only one, but tell him about the points. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to... Go ahead, Rob. Oh, Jack, you could do it.
I will just go to so far as to say that list that Coach won a tournament with was highlighted very, very closely in a team building exercise. So if you too want to come next year to Adepticon or some other tournament, listen to the show. You'll get the right answers to all the right questions.
All the wrong questions.
Pad and pen in hand.
Yes.
So, the Martians.
Okay, well, then I suspect since we're going to do the Martian list, we've already given credit where credit's due for Shane and his creative prowess. Let me start by what?
Before you go on, I will say that the Martian list is no longer available on Deadzone Fanatics on Facebook. We had a hell of a time trying to get this list. We actually have a scanned paper list of this, so I'm going to put it up on the webpage.
Before you do that, I do have the original list, so I can send it to you.
Oh, perfect. There you go.
The nicer one, yeah. He actually found it and sent it to me today.
Okay. So
I liked the crinkled paper one. The one we were using, I like it. It looks like when you get like an indie game and it's written and it's made to look like perhaps it was written by someone under a bridge. It has that look. It had just enough true realism that lived in world look.
Something like Mephistopheles wrote it and then handed it to his minion to send to you.
Yes, and I would say, Faust, thank you. That was a fantastic way that you handed that off to me.
So this list will be available to get off the Deadzone the Podcast website, Podbean. What is it?
Podbean.com
/Deadzone Game. No, is it Deadzone Game / what the hell?
No, it's the third sphere at Podbean.com.
That must be it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shoot, wrong show.
Deadzonegame.podbean.com is where you'll find it.
Well, it sounds like we did hit a few happy hours.
Don't worry, this is all going to be edited out.
Yeah, you always say that and never do it.
So, Jack, please tell us what's in your Martian list.
It's been so long, I forgot we were doing that. Okay, so to begin with, it's customary for me to start. So I'm going to pontificate a little bit to begin with. Please indulge me. I think the elephant in the room is that the Martians, as created by Shane, are a more versatile and more competitive faction than the veer-myn ever will.
You're really going out on a limb there, pal.
I don't know about ever will. Not ever will, but currently, yes.
In this iteration, I enjoyed the list. There's gold nuggets in there. There's some flair, and I will say that it's what the veer-myn are sorely lacking. So, with that being said,
You mean good rules?
my starting
Any rules?
my starting position here with one of the what seems like about 100 leaders. I narrowed that down to the stealth commander. I think I liked his. He's got scout, so a commander with scout is nice, especially with the proclivity of pulse bombards and mortars and stuff to be able to get him out of the deployment zone if need be. Recon 4, and his splat, while not the best by far of any in the list. It's one that kind of speaks to me as a bit of a random dark horse. What it is he starts stealth fields, they're called, and at the end of the activation of any model, you can use your splat, and it puts a smoke screen in that guy's square.
Now, I beg to differ with you because I think that is awesome. Because if you read it, it says grenade, it's at the end of the model's activation. So the Asterians are going like, what?
So he can shoot unencumbered, move unencumbered, do whatever he wants. It's not an action of any type. It's just a splat. He can, if he gets caught out in the open, if he's daring and he's making a run across an open stretch, puff,
boom, smoke
screen.
And you know what? Not just him, the whole army.
Yeah, any model that activates.
Yeah, I'm just talking about like if you have one splat though, and you know what? Even if you're ending your last couple turns and you still have the splats, you're like, okay, well, you know what? Who knows what the opponent's going to do? Puff, 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 puff. The last three guys, they're all in smoke.
Yeah,
no harm, no foul. It is so non-situational. Like some splats are like, okay, if this guy's within so many inches of this and he's a trooper, blah blah blah. This is just just chaos.
You know why I like it too? Because even if you have one, you're like, all right, what the hell? I'll just let it go. Yeah, just for the hell of it.
Yeah, it could be a benefit later on. So that's why I chose him for 28 points. I think that's his stats, his fight and his shoot are pretty decent too for a leader. I got no complaints, so that's who I went with for my leader. For my troops, I took 2 Science Division troopers, which are kind of just stock shooters.
Mm-hmm. How many did you take, Jack? I'm sorry.
2 at 18 points a piece, and I left them with their stock guns. Their stock guns have AP1 with knockback. So right there, why am I going to start tinkering with that for a troop? Then I took 3 stealth Martians. Now they have their stats are 5+ across. They're not spectacular, but they're not the worst in the game, that's for sure.
But I know why you took them.
They have scout.
There you go.
And they are 16 points for a scout, AP1, knockback, stock troop.
No knockback on those guys.
What?
They're just disintegration
pistols. No, they had the
disintegration
pistol. Range 2 AP1.
Yeah.
AP1. Okay, no knockback.
No.
But they do have the fighting blades.
These guys are the guys you want to get up close and personal with, and then, with the blades and everything, even though a 5-up fight, which we've always debated between the 4 and 5. 4 is just so much better. But I mean, this is the closest thing you're going to get to a combat guy. And honestly, those skinny, very fragile, outside the brain things fight just as good as an assault enforcer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's saying something.
And the stealth Martians and the Science Division troopers, neither of them are vulnerable, which is
right.
Nice.
And that there's 2 things I was going to bring up that I thought may have been oversights. I would have thought they all would have been vulnerable.
Me too.
Yeah, I think that might be an oversight.
But you know what? Some maybe they all have armor 1. That's another thing. We're getting off track, but they all have armor 1.
Yeah,
correct.
That they're these little skinny little big brain things.
Right.
You can't tell me that the veer-myn are any less armored than they are. I would say More
I
so.
think, but I'm sorry, Jack. I think as far as the veer-myn, because you know how much I love the veer-myn. I think the difference is with these guys is that the veer-myn are kind of like, they're just rats figuring stuff out. They're kind of like animals figuring stuff out. And this is like an advanced civilization. So they might have some cooler stuff as opposed to the veer-myn.
Built-in force fields, or
right? Like they've made a force field, or that like that crappy green thing from that movie that I can't stand. Maybe it has some kind of armor in it. Like a Kevlar, but against whatever. So they're a little bit more technologically advanced than the veer-myn would be.
That is quite possible. So I had 3 of those at 16 points each.
Nice.
And then I rounded out my troop list with 1 mutant bug handler.
Yeah, I thought so. It's a bug hunt.
Yeah, and the thing is, the bug handler has beast, but the bug doesn't. So I think those 2 things are swapped on the list, but I'm not certain.
Again, it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
You know what? You know what gets me? There's a few things. That was the thing I noticed about the bug handler. I think maybe when Shane was writing it, to take on. I mean, Rob, you've done this where you did the GCPS before it was actually a thing, and you were pretty close. And there's a little things here and there you're gonna overlook. And I think that they gave him the beast ability, which doesn't make sense, but his weapon options are small arms, but he does not have a shoot stat.
Yeah, that's wrong too.
Yeah, that's so. This is Shane. I know you're listening, Shane. So that's like something that needs to be, handled.
It should be just hand-to-hand weapons.
Yeah, give him one of those little disintegration things, and whatever. And then if you could switch out a small arm,
because he even has campaign options ranged. Maybe, or give him a shoot stat. Give him a 6 or 7 shoot stat then.
Whatever, or a 5. A 5 is fine because like they're an advanced race. They might not fight good, but they could shoot pretty good. So 4s and 5s would be pretty, par for the course for these guys.
Yeah. So to move on to my specialists. Now the specialists, I didn't think stat-wise didn't have that much more in the way of they weren't far and away better than the stock troops. Mm-hmm. But the weapons.
Yeah, it's all about the weapon options.
Yeah, there's a little, and all of them had a little bit of flair. You could kind of taste. It was exciting to look through, and knowing with the source material, but also the sci-fi, 50s style. So that's where they shone. But my first specialist is the mutant bug because I bought the handler. Now the mutant bug is 21 points. And really, the bug handler and the mutant bug, between the 2 of them, it's a 35-point model, if you know what I'm saying. One's a size 1, one's a size 3. They're always going to be in the same square because of the mechanics of how the pheromone guns work and everything. But size 3, fights 3+, survives 4+. Like, that's really all you need to know. That is formidable. That's a beast.
Oh, no. There's one other little thing that you're overlooking that's very important.
Toxic?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I didn't overlook the toxic. Let's not. I between those 2, it makes a really decent model, a pretty formidable model. But when you can start ignoring armor, mm-hmm. The AP 1 from the stock troops is good, but the mutant bug is my.
Well, he doesn't ignore armor, right?
Well, he's got AP 1.
Yeah. But toxic makes it so that any wound you do kills him.
Yeah.
Right. So it makes him vulnerable.
Makes him vulnerable.
Yeah.
So like all you have to do is get that 1 wound.
Yep.
Right.
Then you're killing.
There you go. Killing aberrations and teratons and striders.
I would say that's way too powerful.
Yeah, it is. I think toxic in it of itself that's really, really.
At least with a toxic smokescreen, it's hard to use. It's a pain in the ass to use. And this is like, he bites you, you're dead. Like, that's pretty powerful.
I mean, it won't be the first time you whiff on a big model. You're like, it's no big deal. I got a size 4 model. What?
Yep, dead.
I hadn't thought of the size thing or even a Strider. I would never have even thought to use the bug against the Strider for that effect, but I guess it works.
Does Toxic work on vehicles?
I didn't think so, but I just because I hadn't thought about it. A Strider, though.
Once again, Toxic comes up so rarely, I don't even actually know what the rules are for it.
Well, you want me to read the rules? I got it right here.
Perfect.
Yes, sir. That is your forte. You're right on top of that. That's your arena.
It's my arena. Bringing order to the Warpath universe. A model struck by toxic weapon is never injured. Any actual damage the model takes will kill it. Toxic never affects models with either the construct or vehicle ability.
There you go. Okay. So it won't kill a Strider, but it'll kill anything else.
Or it won't kill. I mean, well, if you do a wound on a vulnerable Asterion, one of the constructs, but
yeah. But dog drones, are they constructs? I think so.
No, they're are they? They might.
I think that's maybe in the FAQ too. Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So, but most things you're gonna kill them.
Yeah.
Like that's really mean against plague. Like that's a plague killer right there.
Yeah. Yeah. You're looking those aberrations and all that good stuff right there.
Stage 1 killed 1 hit.
Woo. But listen. Real quick, you guys, you're looking at it. It says mutant bug.
Yeah.
Let's just erase that and put night terror on top of it.
Yeah. How power? Yeah, that would even out that list pretty damn.
That's
quick.
It. Perfect. Done.
Yeah.
Done.
You're
Shane
right.
figured it out.
You're right. Right there. Instead of having the the Spitter has his. The Spitters are not bad, but the night terror is kind of lacking, and that would be.
Yeah.
You just
blew his mind.
Paint those Tiefers up nice and green and gross.
Yeah,
and say they got venomous. Yeah,
drooling with some green toxic goo, just like slathering out of him.
Someone get the rules committee on the line. What? They're not answering?
Oh,
what's wrong with your committee?
So, Jack, what's your next specialist?
My next specialist is Nunyo.
10 more mutant bugs.
None your business. No, the mutant bug, because they can get a little flighty. They're far too dangerous not to have with the bug handler.
I'm very surprised that they moved 1-2. I was waiting for a 3-4 or 2-3.
Wow, that'd be way too.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean 3-4. I mean 2-3. 2-3.
Yeah, even then, them being fast would be wow. Yeah, that'd be scary.
Why don't you just give him
teleport?
Give him some wings and
yeah.
Give him the flight and glide ability and just let him wreak havoc. Yeah. And then I go on to my last but not least a vehicle.
Go ahead, Jack. I'm waiting for it. Go ahead.
Which one?
The giant robot.
I knew you went for the robot. What weapon did you give him?
It was mistakenly they didn't write Stompy Robot or Robot. That's the technical name, Stompy Robot. It
is actually. It's a big Stompy Robot. It's the actual technical name.
So it's got size 4 and armor 3. So that's
a 4-up survive. 4-up survive too.
Like you're not gonna. If you're gonna be hard pressed to move him if he's standing on a objective, or even just if you get him. Say he's so big that every one of your guys can see him, which is a possibility, even in a built-up terrain.
Right.
It's gonna take some doing to get rid of him.
But here's the thing, though. He's so big, you're almost guaranteed not to get a +2.
Yeah, there's no clear shot on him because he's always going to have something hidden behind somewhere.
And that's the give and take of the rules. That means that modeling for effect is really difficult, or even being cheeky about things like that. There's going to be those people who are looking for, I can see your whole model.
No, you can't, because I just stuck my hand through the ruined terrain. You can't see it.
Weapon options. So, Jack, what'd you give him?
So
there he is, Taskmaster. There he is.
Yeah, he's back. So it would be ludicrous to take a Strider variant and not give him any weapons. That would be who would do that?
My goodness.
My goodness, indeed. So I chose for the first weapon Heat Ray.
Nice.
It is a range 14. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah.
AP3, it burns.
Yeah.
The first time in the history of it burns where the weapon has enough range for me to actually say, I am going to enjoy having it burns.
Yeah, that thing's really powerful.
And I want that War of the Worlds sound effect. Like, Rob, when you're editing this, put it in right now. That sound, I want to just hear that in my head for like 3 rounds of me just shooting at things across the board with this heat ray. AP3, and it burns. Just fill it up. Just fill in squares full of fire. So that's an additional 10 points. And vice versa, I could have went with the giant claw, but that, for aesthetics, the giant claw looks like that's the item you would add. I didn't do that. I added the heavy freeze ray. Now the heavy,
he's expensive.
Woo! Yeah.
Heavy freeze ray, range 8, AP5. AP5 sounds ludicrous, but when you hear how the weapon works, all of the AP there is to mitigate through abilities to make the weapon act the way it should be through the fluff.
Please do explain. Read what the weapon does.
It has suppress, so it's got the weight of fire, or not the weight of fire. The
pins
suppress.
Everybody.
Pins everyone in the square. But it also has something called freeze, which is a special Martian ability. And what it does is, if you do any wound to the person, it activates them.
Mm-hmm.
Not horrifically powerful by any stretch of the imagination. If you can get someone in their sights, you can just activate the model. And it just sounds so deliciously juvenile-y fun that I had to take it. And it's 12 points worth of me just thinking that would be hilarious to reach out a full board away and just activate a model. So they'd be knocked down and activated.
Though, I think this is, as I was reading this, I was thinking the same way you are, but heavy freeze, it's got freeze and suppression. It's a little, you suppress the whole cube, and if you cause damage to anybody in the cube, I mean, you could only target one guy, but you can suppress the whole cube.
Yeah, so everybody gets knocked down, one guy gets knocked down and loses his activation. Yeah,
that's a little much. It just, either one or the other.
You're playing a lot of points for it, though.
Well, you know what, though? It's, 52 points, which is still cheaper than an Iron Ancestor.
That's true. That's true.
That is true. Now, are you saying that I chose too well? Are you because Coach, that's my list for 199 points. And if you're saying that I was too much of a scrounger, I would love to hear what you've got.
No, listen. These are listen. There's nothing wrong with bringing the heat, man. Bring the fire, bring the heat, or in this one you bring the freeze. There's nothing wrong with it, man. I mean, I'm just saying, this is not set in stone, and we're still giving our opinions on the fan list.
Yeah.
I just think that freeze and suppression, each one of them is so good that combining them together, even though you're paying for it, it's
they are so good. It's so good.
Like it burns by itself is it burns. If it was it burns and suppression,
yeah,
that would be insane. So right now, freeze and suppression
should be just freeze. There should be no suppression on it.
Right. To me, it seems a little bit. That's a little much, a little too OP for that one thing. And now, range 8.
Oh,
I'm just. Yeah, listen, Jack, you picked it. It's in black and white. I got you. I don't mean to.
Hurt my feelings because I love my robot.
Yeah,
No, he's saying it's just too powerful. I agree.
Yeah.
Oh no, but listen, don't take it the wrong way. I'll take it in 2 seconds. I'm just saying I think it's way too OP.
Well, with that, we'll take a break. We'll come back and I'll do my list, and we'll see how it goes. My list, I can tell you right now, is very different from Jack's.
What?
And now for a commercial. Oh man, that was a good roll.
Hey, Georgie, what are you watching?
Oh, I'm just watching a video on Family of Gamers 777 on YouTube.
What kind of videos are on their channel?
They have hobby videos, live streams, Deadzone and Warpath battle reports, and tons of other great stuff.
Oh, cool. I have to check them out.
Remember, that's Family of Gamers 777 on YouTube, the hub for all things miniature wargaming.
So, Georgie, what's your favorite video on their channel?
I love them all so much. To pick just one, what do I know? We're back.
All right, guys, what's up? We are back. Team building exercise. Back again. We are doing the fan list. We are doing Mars Attacks, the Martians, the little green sons of guns from the red planet. I always wondered, why are they green from the red planet? But, whatever. So, we've heard Jack's list, and it was heavily influenced by the veer-myn. So we're going to go to the main man, the Taskmaster Rob, and he's going to give us his list, which he says is very different than Jack's.
It is indeed. First of all, I must say that I don't think... Has any of us actually played Mars Attacks, the game?
Yes.
Oh, me and Jack definitely have never played this game. At least you've played it.
So Mars Attacks is basically Deadzone Light. Everybody has one wound.
Yeah.
And, that's the best way.
And it was based on version 1.
Yeah. So it's, it was okay. I thought it was okay, but, I would rather play Deadzone, and I'd rather play the Martians in Deadzone.
Yes, these guys they're interesting. They kind of remind me of the Asterians, but much more versatile. There's a lot of, like Jack said, there's how many different leaders?
4.
So for my leader, I picked the Martian Grunt Commander.
What?
He's because he's cheap. He's only 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
And his tactician is terrible. It's tactician 1. His recon's terrible. It's recon 6, and he's vulnerable.
I got it. Boy, you're really selling this one.
Yeah, sign me up, Rob. This sounds amazing.
I took him for one reason. He has the ability ack.
Oh, yeah.
Not only do I get to say ack, but he gives any grunt on their activation +2 dice on shoots. That's pretty damn powerful. So
yeah.
you can guess how many troops I took, and guess what kind of troops I took.
What'd you take, Rob?
Grunts, they're 12 points. Cheap as hell. 12 points with disintegration rifles. Range 4, not great, but AP 1. Every single weapon's AP 1. They are vulnerable, which sucks ass. But they're getting +2 dice on all my activations, or all my splats, so that's kind of cool. I took
5 shoot, though.
Yes, 5 shoot, but +2 dice. I like that. And they're not fighting. 7 plus fight. That's pretty bad. But I took 6 of those guys because they're cheap. And I'm going to load up on them, hoping to roll a lot of splat dice. And for my first specialist after those grunts, the vulnerable weak grunts, is a stealth Martian. Like Jack said, Scout is awesome. But my stealth Martian, he's a specialist because I gave him a sniper rifle.
Whoa, that was really out of character.
Range 8, AP 1, not heavy. Let me just pause there.
Go ahead, just let it out, bro. Go ahead. I got you.
Yes.
You chose him to make a point, not to add to the list. You just wanted to get. Let's hear the sound effect. You dragging the soapbox.
Yeah. No, but mostly I took it because Scout and Sniper Rifle. That's a nice combination. You get him up on a building.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, firing down. AP
now,
1.
Can you? Yeah, AP 1, not heavy, and Scout.
Yeah.
That's ballistic skill. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome to get him up there. But I took him. And he was someone I really wanted to list. The next person in the list, I wanted a mutant bug, even without the controller, because so what, they rampage. It doesn't happen that often. Those things kick ass.
Mm-hmm.
But as in this list, I was always like 1 or 2 points short in everything I wanted to do. And so the grunt specialist, he's only 20 points because I gave him a freeze ray. So it's grunt specialist with a freeze ray. Because I was like, I'm going to be using him to knock down activations and stuff. Not as
Now,
big
Rob,
as the robot, but
what is the freeze? Well, I'm sorry. What does that gun do? I don't remember.
it's range 6, AP 5. It's heavy, but it's got freeze and suppression. It's same as the big gun, but just it's heavy because it's a guy carrying it.
Wait, freeze, suppression, AP 5.
Yeah.
Dare I say that's better than the Hulk's gun?
What does the Hulk's gun do? I don't even know.
It's just AP 5.
Oh yeah, but this doesn't do damage.
Yeah, I think it's apples and oranges. The AP5 is just there to make sure that
You damage them, yeah.
just to make sure that you're ignoring the armor because the armor really shouldn't have an effect on it. Sort of like the way it burns probably should work, but like a poison gas would or something. It's just to mitigate someone going, hey, you can't freeze me in a solid block of ice because I have some flak vest on or something.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it's just kind of knocking you down or something like that, or
Yeah, it's freezing his armor, so it doesn't actually affect the attack. So that's why.
so all the freeze guns they don't cause any damage.
Nope. Freeze. The ability freeze means they cause no damage.
Oh, I got you. Instead of when attacking with a weapon with this ability, resolve the attack as normal. If any potential damage is caused, do not apply any damage to the target. Instead, mark the target model as activated. Now, we let's discuss this because we never go off on tangents. I'd like to do one right now. It says, resolve the attack as normal if any potential damage is caused. So even if you cause 3 wounds, but you have armor 3, it doesn't matter because you potential damage means that you could damage him before mitigating it with armor or tough.
Well, with
Armor
AP5 doesn't matter. But
Well, also don't forget tough.
yeah, tough. That's true.
That's the one. That's the one. So yeah. All right.
Yep.
Well, I guess I'm going to change my list.
And so after that, I decided to take vehicles. That's why I have 6 grunts. Because I wanted 2 vehicles. I did want a big stompy robot, but once again, I think I was a few points short. This time a little bit more points short. And I couldn't fit him in. So instead, I took 2 flying saucers.
What?
Both with heat rays.
What?
Heat ray is AP3. It burns. Nice. They hover, so they fly up high. They might get shot better, but they're going to be able to hit most people. And I also got a little insider knowledge from the creator of this list, Shane. He said that when he was playtesting it, he did have a flying saucer that he just got up in the air, stood at the one corner of the board, and just started firing heat rays at everybody, just destroying everybody. So I said, hey, if you had 1 that worked, I'll have 2.
Well, I will tell you that I was trying desperately to get 2 saucers into my list.
I wanted a giant robot and 2 saucers, but I couldn't figure out a way to do it. Or a giant robot and 1 saucer, but those robots are expensive.
Yeah, but again, the sound effect that you would just make and your opponent look at you and go, what?
Yeah, but mine will do that too from the flying saucer.
Yeah, the flying saucers are awesome. And the thing I liked about them, that it says right in the rules, they're not prohibited by a lot of the vehicle nonsense because they do hover.
Yeah.
Oh, see, Jack, I was going to say that later.
Yeah. Hover, it says a model with this ability does not require a wall or a ramp to change levels, so it can go up in levels. It may move over gaps of any size on the same level, but it must end its in a cube and position that allows it to be physically placed on the gaming table. I don't like that rule. I wish they could just stay up.
That's stupid.
Yeah, but that was the problem with the murder birds too.
That is, and it will eventually be addressed. Right now, I can understand. I fully understand why it is that way, but so be it. Either way, still to be able to move around on the levels and to be able to with agile flying saucer types maneuvering will be fantastic. It will be hilariously fun.
Well, I always say that a vehicle doesn't work in Deadzone. And the reason why is because of you need a ramp to go up or down or whatever like this. This thing mitigates that with the hover rule.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you. You have a your flying saucer, you have the base. It's an elevated base. It's like a flyer base.
Yep.
And it says the model must end this move in a cube end position that allows it to be physically placed on the gaming table. What if you have? Well, this is it's a size 4. That means that you can't hover above a cube with one guy in it, one of your own guys in it.
That's correct, yep.
Now, if you're hovering above a cube that doesn't have a guy in it, but has an enemy in it, does that trigger a fight?
Yeah, it does, and that's just stupid.
Right. Because he's like 2 cubes ahead of you.
Yeah.
Now, I think with this,
you should have like a flight stand that you can say, okay, I'm on the second level, I'm on the third level, like, adjustable flight stand almost.
Yeah, but the thing is too, maybe the hover rule, if you're going to end the cube over an enemy, that enemy gets a free shot at you. Because you can't fight.
Well, you can fight.
I just think
you can't fight. I'm sorry, Jack. I hate to cut you off. I have to let the Taskmaster know that Flying Saucer can't fight because he doesn't have a fight stat.
Oh, I'm saying the guy in the cube can fight him.
Yeah. So you're telling me a goblin,
stupid,
who's about 6 inches tall, can fight a Flying Saucer that's 60 feet above him?
He jumps up and punches him. Yep.
But
like I say, it should be like a rule about, or if you're a hover, you're always in level 2 or something.
Right. But now, like you said, so he'll hover above, but when it's time for the guy directly below him to go, he can get a clear shot up the nuts.
I think you should it should say that if you're hovering, you're one level above where your base is. So you're like, if your base is on the ground level, you're on level 2. If your base is on level 2, you're actually on level 3.
Right.
And that would solve that problem pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, my list is 200 points, and there you go. Like I said, I was always 2 points short of getting a flying saucer and a giant robot, and then I tried to get the mutant bug in because he kicks ass.
Mm-hmm.
And I do regret not having giant robot, but I'm glad Jack got one in his list.
Yeah.
Stompy robot.
So, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Please tell us what is in your list. What are you packing?
In my list, I have a bunch of Martians. Starting off, I looked at all of them. The one you picked, man, I don't know. So I went with the Stealth Martian Commander.
Just copying Jack, as always.
Yeah, well, but here, Recon 4 and Scout.
Yeah.
You could give him a sniper rifle, but who gives a leader a sniper rifle? Come on. So the Stealth Field is what I liked, man. He's only Tactician 1. He's expensive too, man. 28 points, 1 VP. Listen, you're hiding this son of a gun. Don't put him out in the open because he's going to get shot. 1 armor with a 5 of survive, but he is not vulnerable.
Yeah.
So Recon 4+ with Scout. And I love this stealth field, man. The smoke grenade. It kind of reminds me of the old ninja movies. Like, here I am, vanish.
Yeah.
And, I got to tell you the Tactician 1, listen, I love the guys with Tactician 2. Like, you taking stage 1 and stuff. That's some good stuff. But 90% of the armies I'm running with a Tactician 1 guy. And it's all right. It's working out pretty good. So, and the great thing about him having Scout is you can counter deploy. So if somebody wants to be cute and has it, has him in sight, you're like, oh no, I'm gonna move 2 things and just hide. So, that's why I like that guy. So moving on to my troops, I went a little diverse, a little different, but, little comme ci, comme ça. I took 2 Science Division troopers. Reason being that heavy disintegration rifle, AP1 knockback on a 4+ shoot, that's pretty damn good for 18 points.
Yeah.
It's almost like having a sniper. Get them up. Hopefully, get a +1 on that. And once again, they are not vulnerable. So, I don't like the vulnerable guys. I just don't, man.
I think they should be vulnerable. And, yeah.
Well,
especially Science Division, they're just nerds. Why are they not vulnerable?
Well, but see, I think the head guy's the nerd, and these guys are the rock solid troopers that are getting the advanced warfare stuff. So that's the way I look at it. It's like
It makes more sense.
The science.
I was thinking more of the, I see what you're saying. They get their science division because they get all the best
Right,
stuff, not because they're nerds.
Yeah.
I get
the
it.
nerd
It makes more sense now.
See, like, these are the guys who used to beat up the nerds in high school. So then, like, these are the jocks. So then the nerds are like, well, you're going to go out and fight, but we're going to help you out. Because, like, the nerds are, they're more forgiving, especially Martian culture. All right. And then you never know, like the nerds on Mars might be like, the football players or the soccer players of the Martian universe. So they might be the heroes sending these guys out, you never know.
Very true. We have not seen enough rom-coms, high school-based rom-coms, in order to determine what the pecking order is. We could be sorely mistaken in our assumption that the nerds are on the low order.
Right. Because they run Mars. So let's go. Next, 2 troopers went with 2 stealth Martians. Okay. Once again, they're only 16 points. They got that disintegration pistol, which is a range 2, which I hate range 2 or 3 stuff, but they do have an AP1, pistol and a fighting blade of AP1, but they also have a 5-up fight. So, but they do have scout.
Yep.
And, if you know how to use scout good, it can help you win some stuff. So, that's why I took them 16 points. They are very expensive though. They're all 2 victory points.
Yeah, there's a lot of VPs in these armies for sure.
So then I took for my specialists. I took 4 troops. Specialist, Science Division Trooper Specialist, heavy disintegration rifle, which was pretty good, and I ended up giving him the freeze ray, right? It is heavy, but it has freeze and suppression. So this is just going to be a guy mitigating other guys, like making them, something's coming up, and we're going to just try to freeze them there. But the more I look at the freeze ray, I'm starting, as you guys are talking about it, I'm not too keen on it. I might want to change.
He's basically a dog drone,
right?
He doesn't have he's not a sniper by any stretch of the imagination. But if you really just want to take some control out of some squares, like the dog drone,
basically,
and really like activating people that hurts. Like
but you do have to cause a wound on him, and the freeze way is an AP5, man. Woo. All right, so that was my first specialist, and then my next 2 specialists, I took 2 bugs. Now, if you notice, I did not take the handler. What is he called? The bug handler?
Bold move.
Okay. The reason being is I asked Shane about it, and he said that he's there to calm down the rampage, and that's it. So I'll take my shot because, when I run the plague and, you run the stage 2s, you run the big dude, the aberration.
You never.
I don't care about it before. And I'm not really concerned about it now because think about it. They don't have any armor, but they got a 3-up fight and a 4-up survive. And they're only worth 2 victory points. That AP1 toxic, run them up the board or whatever, or hopefully you're in the recon. You can move them up 1. I have an affinity for the Gribblies running up there, big monsters running up there and stuff. So,
and that's pretty much the only melee in any of these armies.
Yeah. It's just this big thing that they let go, and it, I thought it was pretty cool. And that toxic, man, with a 3-up fight, there's a good chance you're killing something and something substantial, So I took 2 of those mutated bugs, and I ended up taking the flying saucer because, like I said before, it just mitigates all the reasons I don't take a vehicle in Deadzone because of the damn lack of ramps and stuff. You can't move around. So this thing mitigates it. I was gonna go with the heavy freeze ray, but let's go with the heat ray. It burns. just do that. And then the hover ability is really nice. So, I have the freeze ray with the Science Division Trooper Specialist dude. And then this one will just be, doing what Jack said, just War of the Worlds, going on top of people, burning the hell out of them. And I kind of, I like that there. So at this point, I don't even know how many points it is. I think it's 198.
Give somebody ammo?
Give somebody ammo, or it might even be less, or 2 people ammo, but that's definitely less than 200. And that's the list. I kind of like it. When I first started doing it, I was a little offset by the Martians themselves, because I really hate that movie. I thought that movie's terrible. So, I guess my bile and bias towards the Martians were because of that. But I could see me running this list. It's not terrible. They do have deficiencies, but you got to make up with it with the other stuff. Freezing them, knockbacking them, suppressing them, it burns in them. All that good stuff. I always like those weapons, like it burns or knockback. I'm sorry, suppression, where it's like, all right, I didn't do any damage to you, but you guys are all suppressed. And that is hard, sometimes hard to recover from that.
Yeah. It definitely slows armies down.
And it makes you think, like, we got to, and that makes the opponent have to deal with that stuff, those weapons.
Yep. Well, we're going to come back and talk about all the stuff we didn't take. And also, we'll do a wrap-up of what we think about this list and what we think might need to change slightly. But generally, we'll be back, right?
Hopefully.
We'll be right back.
Time for a break from these numbnuts.
Quiet down, boys. I'm trying to listen to Deadzone the Podcast. Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. My name is Hiroku, and I'm your friendly neighborhood Plague Lord. Why, yes, I do enjoy listening to Deadzone the Podcast at deadzonegame.podbean.com, even if it is hosted by 2 pathetic humans destined to be part of our glorious plague. Was that gunfire? Damned enforcers are always interrupting my podcast time. Don't forget to go to deadzonegame.podbean.com for all your Dead Zone listening pleasure. Now, to destroy these damnable enforcers.
We're back.
And welcome back to Team Building Exercise. The 3 amigos. The only 3 that could possibly do this podcast. Don't even ask. You're not invited.
What,
and
people are asking what's going on here.
What? And now we're going to discuss what we didn't take. So that leaves a good 65 liters at least that that we didn't take. Rob.
Yes, the first leader we didn't take is the Science Division Commander. He's got Tactician 1, Recon 5, so not very good. And his stats or whatever, he's 25 points, 3 VPs. But he's got pheromone injectors, so he gives a single model Frenzy 2 with Rampage and Beast until end of turn, which is great, but none of your guy that you'd want to give that to already has Rampage. So you give your Mutant Bug Frenzy 2, he's already killing people on 1 hit anyways, and he's 3+ hit. You don't really need this.
Yeah, my thoughts exactly. He's redundant in this list. If you were making a dream team list and you could put him in with some plague and then go to town.
Yeah.
Get some frenzy on a stage 1 or something, but he's kind of redundant. That extra two rerolls of attack dice is nice, but in this list,
nobody's attacking anybody. Yeah,
that bug doesn't need two extra dice to get through.
But why the Rampage and Beast?
Well, I guess you're injecting them and they go crazy, and then it probably has a thematic scene, maybe in the movie or something. There's rampaging Martians or in the books or something, but yeah, he just injects them and they go nuts and kind of just freak out.
My thought for the Beast anyways was that if, the question would pop up, okay, I've gone crazy, I'm now rampaging, I have, I'm carrying intel or whatever. I think it's just there to say, okay, if you do this, there's going to be a consequence, and that's going to be
you drop all your items. Yeah,
right. Like I'm sorry. Like you said, other than the bug, who are you giving this to?
The next fighters are your stealth guys, but they fight on 5s.
Yeah,
they do have a weapon that gives you AP 1 and knockback, I think, but
right.
Yeah, you're not even. Yeah, we'll get to the weapon list. There's some weapons in the list, too, that I'm like, nobody's going to ever take these. But,
right.
Okay, I think that's all we have to say about that guy. How about the Martian Marine Commander?
We got a lot to talk about this guy.
Yeah, he's shoot 4+, which is nice. Survive 4+, 32 points, pretty expensive. 4 VPs. He's got the Disintegration Rifle, Tactician 2, Recon 4+, and Vulnerable. So he's like I don't know why he's vulnerable, and I think, are Martian Marines vulnerable? No, the Martian Marines aren't vulnerable, so that doesn't make sense. I think that some of those vulnerables were missed on some of those troopers, but
yeah, some of them should have it, and the other ones shouldn't.
Yeah,
that's like why the Pathfinder Sergeant doesn't have a tag rifle.
Yeah, exactly. So please, Coach, tell us what Obey or Die does.
At the start of your round, after rolling command dice, pick up an Army Special result and turn them into the result of your choice. At the end of the round, before determining victory, if any command dice converted in this manner remain unspent, remove a model of your choice as a casualty.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I'd rather just roll the die and not have a splat.
Mm.
Sure, you get to choose what you're getting, but...
Yeah, but, all right. So now let's think about it. At the end, pick up an Army Special result and turn them into a result of your choice. So let's just say let's say I get 4 splats.
Yep.
Can I just turn them into extra dice and then roll 4 dice?
Yeah.
So then you would never use it. I just don't like the thing like remove a model of your choice as a casualty.
Yeah, it's a big.
Now, is that remove a model of your choice in your army or in his army?
No, your army.
It doesn't say that though.
No, it is though.
Yeah,
it's obey or die. So it's either they do what they're told, or they die. Yeah, it should say in your army, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I want Rob. I'm playing you. I want that aberration removed as a casualty.
That would be very powerful if that was the case.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd take him all day long. I'll just take him by himself.
Yeah. Every command dice you do, you take a model off the board. Yeah, that'd be nice.
I don't like the, listen, if I can't see you not, using this in the right way. Well, that's the thing that held me back from that and vulnerable.
Yeah. The thing is with that, you have to choose at the beginning of your turn what those dice are. So if you choose all fights and then you choose all shoots even, and your guys killed guys before you get to even use the extra shoots, you're like, oh damn, now I don't, I guess there's reasons, but.
For me, the only dice that I would use would be activates.
I would use +1 dice because you can always use those.
Yeah, because it's like, oh man, this is my last guy to go. I'm going to use it to do whatever.
Because you can add as many as you want too. Yeah.
Right.
With the activates, you can do it, and you can.
Yeah. You're always going to use
that. You're using them, and you're using them very quickly at the beginning when you use them, and the loss of a guy first round that wasn't even shot, you're going to lose the victory points to your opponent. You're going to lose the model. The only thing I would have taken was activates, and I would have used them like first round, just boom, 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 boom.
I'd rather just have a different leader and roll my activates.
Well, yeah, yes, but we're talking like if we had this guy,
if you're forced to use him, yeah.
It's not terrible. Now that I think about it, like sometimes you roll some stuff and you're like, oh, okay, well, I wanted to move this guy, I wanted to shoot this guy, I wanted to do this. You can kind of supplement that for that, but then again, how many splats are you rolling? It's a 1 in 6 chance of it. The only nice thing is Tactician 2. I guess vulnerable. This guy, you got to camp, man. He's got to be hidden. Don't put this sucker out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, you're gonna lose him.
4 points though, 4 victory
and
points.
32 costs 32 too.
Yeah.
So the only trooper we didn't take is the Martian Marine. Disintegration Rifle, AP 1, range 4. Abilities none, but he probably should have vulnerable because his leader does. He has small arms, speed 1/2, size 1, shoot 4+, good shoot. Fight 5+, survive 4+, good survive. Armor 1, 18 points and 2 VPs. That's the only reason I didn't take him. He's expensive and a lot of VPs.
He's good. He's actually pretty good, man.
Yeah.
When you think about it. The only reason I didn't take him and I took the Division Trooper is because of the rifle.
Yeah, you wanted the
range 5 AP1 knockback.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about this. The differences between 4s and 5s in this game is huge. So range 4 as opposed to range 5 is huge. Range survive 4 as opposed to survive 5, or shoot 4 as opposed to 5. It's monumentally different. It really is. So, I mean, other than the fight, the other guy's better. The Science Division Trooper's better. I think, same points, same armor. Just the Marines got a 4-up survive. You know what? If he had a better rifle, I would have took him.
And then, for specialists.
Okay. So Rob took the grunt specialist.
You guys took someone took a stealth. I think I took a stealth specialist, gave him a sniper rifle.
Right.
Science Division specialist. What?
I took that.
Did you take the specialist? Yeah, because you gave him.
Yes. And I gave him the freeze ray.
Okay. Once again, it's the Marine specialists that nobody took. The Marines, once it's just, you get more options. You can give the freeze ray to him, but like you said, the Science Division guys are just as good. And the only difference is they survive, I guess.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, they're not bad. It's just that, and they're not vulnerable. So I'd rather take him than anybody else.
Yeah. Those two are pretty similar. The Science, I think they could have been one troop. They didn't have to separate this Division Trooper specialist and the Marines. They're very similar.
But I think this is a nexus of the universe. This is a quandary in the Mantic universe because they actually have more models. They do entries. So
yeah. They had to fill it out.
They had to fill it out. So it's not like, where it's usually, we're doing a Rebel sniper. Yeah, well, which model should we use for it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this, I think it's, fleshing out the thing. Because when you look at it, though, Mars Attacks, their models are very extensive.
Yeah, they almost have a better range than most units in most factions in Deadzone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for vehicles, we all took we took the flying saucers and robots, so we filled those out. So we actually did get a good selection of the units there.
Right.
Let's move on to
How are you not taking flying saucers and robots?
Yeah, I wanted one of each. I just couldn't do it.
How you would have no soul. I wouldn't trust a man who didn't take at least a flying saucer or a robot. That guy's broken.
I took the saucer because he can go anywhere he wants.
Yeah, it's powerful.
That's nice. Yeah.
So let's move on to weapons. Is there anything in particular? We were saying the giving a guy a fighting blade or an energy blade, all the melee weapons, since you're the only person you want to do melee is the mutant bug, and he can't have those things.
Why?
Shock stick, it just gives you a knockback. Yeah. They're all kind of useless. They could be taken out pretty quickly. There's
freeze ray is good. It's just way too OP.
Rocket launchers, the same as everybody gets. Sniper rifles, same, just not heavy.
Well, the freeze ray or the giant freeze ray, because the regular freeze ray, it's heavy. You think it's still too OP?
Yes.
Okay.
Freeze and suppression is the only, those two together is pretty tough. You wouldn't get as much line of sight as if you have it on a flying saucer or a robot where they have a lot better view.
See, that's where I was going with it. The flying saucer, you start heading up and you're getting all the targets. A little Martian, and it's heavy. He can't move around. Then you're starting to get more of like a more grounded. But if the contention is suppression and freeze is too much, then
you know what though? I like the fact that the freeze ray is heavy, but the heavy freeze ray will go on a vehicle. Is either the ribbit or the saucer, but it is not heavy for them, and I like that.
It's the way it should be.
The way it should be, right? Now the giant claw, no one took either. Range F AP4. What's the fight on? Now you could take it on either one, right?
I guess you could give it to the flying saucer.
Right. So
no fight on a flying saucer though, so you couldn't give it to
right. So you could. I guess you wouldn't take it, but you would put that on the robot.
6+ fight though.
Right. So basically, it's a nipple twister. It's not really effective then.
And it costs 12 points. It's really expensive for what it does. The heavy blaster, we never took a heavy blaster. It's a heavy special, and that's the Science Division guys could have had that. That's pretty good. Frag 4 is always nice.
I was really close to taking that. I think, that might not be bad. So a Frag 4 weapon that is not heavy. See, Jack, I'm very, very, very surprised you didn't take one of those.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that it's not heavy. It probably should be heavy.
Jack, but that's got Jack written all over it. Frank,
it does. But the heat ray, freeze ray combo spoke to me. You know,
well, this isn't for the robots. This is for, you never took the science division, guys.
Yeah, but I didn't take any specialists, so it wasn't in the cards. But I think because I was able to get the heat ray, freeze ray combo on the vehicle, I didn't need to get two. But I mentioned right at the beginning, the specialists where they shine is those weapons, and I opted against it. But I knew some others would like to delve in because it's such. Again, if you like the source material and you like the kind of the schmaltzy the panache of the Martians, it works. The veer-myn are sorely lacking, and I'm going back to the veer-myn, but yeah, we're getting psyched about some silly 50s sci-fi weapons here, but that's what makes it great.
And last but not least, no one took a shrink ray. Anybody want to describe what shrink rays do?
Sure. When attacking with a weapon with this ability, resolve the attack as normal. If a potential damage is caused, do not apply any damage to the target. Instead, reduce the target's model size by 1. Models reduced to size 0 gain the vulnerable special rule. If an injured model is struck, remove it as a casualty as normal if it has damage greater than its size after being shrunk. If a model 0 is shrunk, if a size 0 model is shrunk, remove it as a casualty. So this is like one of those, this is like a kitschy kind of weapon. Like, you know, you shoot would this work on a vehicle? Would this work on a Strider or
yeah, I think so. It doesn't say anything about it, yeah.
So basically you shoot a Teraton, aberration a few times and
it's just,
you just gotta,
you gotta keep hitting them. That's the only problem.
So this is like the one where, they just come out, ack, and then, you know, they have that and just shrink you.
Yeah.
So I guess you shrink them down to a small size, and then somebody comes and steps on them.
I guess it's kind of neat because you're pretty much reducing a target's hit points permanently with a shrink.
Correct.
All it is adding flavor to what a game mechanic already happens.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't. All you're saying is, okay, you're size 3, you're wounded. Okay, now you only have 2 hits left. What this is just saying is, no, you just got smaller by 1. It's just a nice little tip of the cap to the source material.
And you also, if you happen to get a med pack, you can't use it.
Yeah, you can't heal from it yet.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, you're
because we never heal.
Yeah, but you're getting shrunk down. That's it. There's nothing you can do with it.
Yeah, there's no reverse shrink. And there is some items that are interesting on this list. There is the pheromone dispenser. Jack kind of touched on it, and it does remove the rampage effect from a friendly model.
Right.
Which, it's situational, but yeah. I guess if you want your mutant bug not to go crazy, you have a pheromone dispenser.
Now, do you have to be in the same cube with him?
Does it have it doesn't have a range, but they don't have a shoot stat, so it should say.
If you read it, it says it's
oh yeah, it's a friendly model in the same cube. Yep.
So you don't need to actually activate it. I think it's just.
Yeah, you're right.
I think it's just a plume of pheromones that's keeping it calm. It's not like you have to shoot it with a tranquilizer.
Yeah, right. Yep.
So he's basically it's something that stinks, and it keeps him
docile.
Docile, yeah.
Somewhat docile. He's still pretty tough.
You know what though? That means you got to get the guy up there.
You always have to be with him, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the thing. It's the safe way to go. The guy is worth very little in the way of. Like
you say, there was a model for it, so they made some rules for it. Makes sense.
He's no slouch either. Since he's not having to say to shoot the bug with a tranquilizer or actively do anything.
Right.
He's
still a useful model, yeah.
He's still a useful model. He's not okay. I'm removing a reload token. I'm not.
Yeah. He's not that bad. Yeah.
All right. So, but let's look at the mutant bug though. All right. His ability is a rampage. Why don't you just give him the pheromone thing? Stick it on his back and let him go.
Does he have beast?
Nope.
That's a mistake. He should have beast. Remember,
I'm just saying,
actually that's where it was screwed up because the other guy has beast, so he couldn't have pheromone dispenser.
Okay.
It was just a mistake in the list.
Yeah, if he didn't have beast, I just
he just stuck it on his back.
Yeah, stick it on his back, and it's like, oh, I feel great, and I'm going to tear you apart, but I feel good about it.
Yeah, that's just a mistake.
His rules lawyered that.
Yeah.
Someone would have lost their full mind if you. Yeah, I gave him one item. Okay. Yeah, I gave him the dispenser.
Dude, no problem. It's not a problem, man. You know.
And the last item that's different is because once again there is a model for it. Is the Martian Banner.
Right.
So friendly models in the same cube as a Martian Banner benefit from the solid special rule. So it means they can't be suppressed, right?
Yeah. And they can't be knocked back.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool. That's once again fluff.
Now why is there like a Martian Banner that's
there's a model.
Fluff?
Yeah, it's the only Martian I have is the guy with the banner.
Right. So solid basically is a model with disability is not affected by a weapon that moves their target into a new cube, such as blast or grenade or a knockback. In addition, this model is never pinned. So
that'd be kind of cool to, if you really want to make sure somebody's not pinned, you give them a Martian Banner.
Yeah, or some of the indirect weapons you don't have to worry about. Well, you have to worry about them as far as taking wounds. You don't have to worry about. You won't get blasted into another cube or knockback.
Yeah. That's actually really interesting. How much did it cost? 5, I think? It's unique, though, so you can only have one.
You can only have one, yeah. But you know what? You can only have... I mean, it's the only unique one, so either you're going to take it, and that's it.
Yeah, if you really have a model that you don't want to get knocked down, you just give them that. Like maybe a sniper or something with a Martian Banner.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a Martian Defender shield. Something that you're helping out your pals in the same square.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool, actually. I never thought about it, but I don't really care about getting suppressed that much, but that would be useful.
What if your bug handler had that as his item?
So the bug is solid, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that's the Martian list. What do you think, guys? I think it's a better, well-rounded list, other than the slight mistakes about Vulnerable not being on some stuff and Beast being on the wrong ones, but generally I think it's a better list than the veer-myn. Like, well thought out, more thought out than the veer-myn.
Yeah, you're really, again, going out on a limb.
No, but I'm saying, like, as the veer-myn being an official list in an official book, and this is being some guy making it up, this is a better list, like a better thought out list.
I'll tell you, man, I thought this was going to suck.
I did too.
I'll be honest with you. I was like, oh my God, the frickin' March. Like I said, I hate the movie. The aesthetics I don't mind, but the movie, I can't stand that movie. But, yeah, this, as I was reading it, and you know what it was too? I'll be honest with you. We're all friends here, right? We could be honest with each other.
Yeah.
I wanted to do the best I could because Shane is such a good guy. So, but reading it, I was like, all right, you know what?
Yeah.
There's some gems in here, and there's some mistakes, but instead of rules as written, we're looking at rules as intended.
Yeah, exactly.
So I wouldn't mind fielding an army of a few guys. No, I wouldn't mind playing some Deadzone.
Once again, it's the aesthetic that I'm against, not the, like, if you did it as like little green men, 50s kind of, instead of the Mars Attacks guys. I really don't like the Mars Attacks either. Not just because of the movie, I just think aesthetically I don't like them.
Right.
But if there was some other like list that you could use this as proxy models for, it's a pretty fun list. There's a lot of variety in it.
Yeah, I would just play them, as the ACAX. You know what I mean? Not. I wouldn't proxy them. I would take them as such. The only thing is the ones we can't take in this list. I would have loved to take. I'll be honest with you. I'd like to take a Judge Dredd.
Yes, there is some other lists that when we do the elite lists, we'll talk about those guys. But there is some mercs and some elite leaders. We'll get onto those though. We'll talk about those next special episode maybe.
And to be honest, I wasn't too psyched about doing this list either, but not for the same reasons you two. Like I watched the movie once and didn't care. I really get jazzed about that kind of the aesthetic, the Martian, the brains and stuff. Like for me, that's part of the allure of the schlock. But honestly, I just thought, you know what, like hanging out with my pals, and it's been a while, so I was just here to,
because you had to be.
Give a group hug.
He was here because he's under contract.
Right.
That too. I was pleasantly surprised once I started making the list. Just what was available, and yeah, I'm glad we did this.
Well,
whoever out there, I know it was suggested to Rob at least once or twice. Whoever you were, I hope A, this satisfies you, and B, thank you, because it was more enjoyable than I anticipated.
And also this just goes back to the thing where you can't just read it and say, oh, these guys suck. Yeah, you really have to. I mean, I really dissected it and looked into it to try to make a winning list that would work. And, some of the stuff we didn't take because, the same reason we don't take stuff from the other lists. So it was, there's some gems in here. It could be cool to run this,
Yeah, for sure. I think it's well done. Better than most.
Yeah, absolutely. Better than veer-myn.
Better than the veer-myn. And better than version 1 Asterians, too, so.
Yeah. So now what's the chance of this being an official list?
0.
I think, no, I don't think so, because Shane is a Pathfinder, so he's gotten in. I think there is a chance that this little refinement could become an official list. Now, since, once again, if the people are demanding us to do it, they're demanding that Mantic does it too, so...
I'm not saying that there isn't maybe a demand or an upswell, or I just don't know if Mantic has access to the IP anymore.
Yeah, but they could still support what they have, so I think that's why they would do it.
Or you could just come out with a list and say, hey, listen, they came out with all those Uncharted Empires and stuff, and they don't have the IP for that stuff, but they still wrote lists for it. So you could say, all right, well, we're not going to put out a book like a supplement like Nexus Psi or Infestation or whatever, but this is the official list. And the one good thing about Mantic is they're not shy about giving you something for free. So if they say, all right, we've gone over it, this is the official Mars attacks list for Deadzone. Go for it. And if it's given the blessing, then there's no reason you couldn't use it. You could have used it in Adepticon if it was given a blessing.
Exactly, to make it so it's an official list. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you know what? I might, I don't know, I might pick up some of these guys just for, a quick pickup game, just for fun, just to.
And it might actually sell off some of their old Mars Attacks models they can't get rid of.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, but if you look on Facebook, man, there's like a ton of people with this stuff. For whatever reason. I mean, I know like Eric bought a ton of these, and there's stuff missing. There's like the Tiger Corps, which was like the Elite Marines or something from, I don't know much about the IP, but, there's a lot of models that are not in this list.
Yeah, that could be done.
Yeah, like, can you run a Tiger Corps? I mean, I like those guys. I like the extent of them. They got those like Bruce Lee jumpsuits. And
yeah, I have those models actually.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I was hoping to see something from them. I thought that those guys were kind of cool. But, I guess there's a lot of models. I mean, if you're going to do this, flush out the whole range, man. Do everything. Put a flaming cow in there or something. I don't know.
That's right, Shane. Get on it. Jeez,
yeah, Shane,
slacker.
You slacker. You're sitting around and just hanging out, writing Deadzone rules. Get to work.
Easy.
For free, doing this all for nothing?
Yeah, like what?
Jeez.
What? I'm going to curse in Jamaican. What the bumbleclop?
So, yeah. I think that covers it. Next time, I think we're going to do the Season 2 is going to begin. And we're going to start on the elite lists for the official 7. How's that sound?
I'm glad you said that, because I was like, all right, I know I'm the one pushing for Season 2, but what the hell are we going to do? Oh, that's right, elite lists. Yes.
Yeah, so we're going to get some elite lists done. So until next time, I've been Rob.
I'm Jack.
Yeah, I'm Coach.
And come back for Team Building Exercise Season 2, The Reckoning.
Electric Boogaloo.
What happened at Adepticon again?
So, there you go. That was Coach from Family of Gamers 777 and the other 2 numbnuts from the Deadzone Podcast. Now that they're done yapping, go out and play Deadzone and prove these guys wrong. I wouldn't listen to them, but what do I know?